My name is Asia Sampson, and today on Baptism Overland, we are doing the Camp Cooking Challenge. So in the past few months, I have been on this kick to try to reduce as much gear as possible. Now, believe me, I love gear. We all love gear. But sometimes we just buy everything and anything, and then we bring it all, and we end up not even using it, or we forget some of it at home, and it's just a lot. And especially when you have a Jeep and you have limited space, you want to try to reduce the amount of things that you're bringing. And one of those areas that I really need to reduce is the kitchen and cooking setup. We are literally bringing the kitchen sink with us everywhere we go, and I'm wondering if I can minimize that a bit and only use certain amount of items to cook with. And that's what this challenge is about. I am picking 3 very small items that we are going to be bringing overlanding and camping, and only rely on those 3 items. So let me show you what I got. Alright, so meet our contenders. I will show them to you one at a time. We have the Jetboil. This was given to me by my wife and my son for Father's Day. I am super excited to try it out on this trip. Next, we have the SoloStove campfire. You're gonna get a lot of heat out of this thing. We'll be able to put some frying pans and just cook it like it's a burner without having to use any kind of propane. And then finally, we have the grill from Lifedoo. This is a camp portable fire grill. You put coals in there and I'll be able to grill up burgers and steaks. I will say the 2 of these, the SoloStove and the Lifedoo, were sent to me for review. So let's go back to past me and do the unboxing of these items. Thank you, future me. I'm hoping you and your family are having a great time being outdoors. So this camp cooking challenge was actually brought on because 2 of the 3 items that we are using for this challenge was sent to me for review. The first item we are unboxing was sent to me courtesy of Lifedoo. They specialize in portable car camping fire pits. Now, we've seen products like this before where you have a fire pit and it folds away into a nice flat compact thing. See this? Very compact. So we will see how this one stacks up with the rest of them. This one is already somewhat heavy. I will say that I do like the cheekiness of their packaging. On the front of the box, they put all the negative reviews that they've had on their first version. Oops, too much smoke when I fire the logs. When it heats up, it will buckle, and probably they will be too hard to assemble. Lifedoo, no do. Ash disposal is the issue. It is a bit expensive and there are no any accessories. Okay, grammar. Got your grills, the main grill, 2 aluminum bars, got 1 plate, two plates, more packaging, oh, a 3rd one that is now stuck on my magnet. The ends, there's 2 of those. So far it feels good. Looks like it's cut really nicely. I love the design on it. That's pretty cool. Your bottom. There are no instructions. You guys should at least have a picture or something. I know these go in the end. And I know that this is going to go here. See, then what are these for? I was gonna look at this picture, but they covered it with my label. All right, come on, Asia Sampson. You can figure this out. Okay, I know that one goes there. I know this one goes here. So of course, these would go here. I could be doing all this wrong. What happens to the rest? Ah, got it. I feel like I'm doing origami with metal. Okay, I think that's it. That's pretty sizable. I kind of like it. I mean, you got to learn how to put it together. Let me take the grill off the top. Looks like that. So you put all your charcoal or firewood here, and I believe if you put these up at the top of slats, you can use them to like roast things, right? So if you put it like this, you can kind of put it there and just let it hang over the heat if you don't want to put it, if you just want like skewers. So that's probably what these are for. Or you can use the grill and put it on top, and now you can grill out. It's very secure, I can tell you that. It locks into place really well. And the build, overall, the build is nice. A little heavy, but I think I like that, so it's not just gonna blow over. And then you have your everything that will catch the ashes down here. Let's see if we can take it apart just as fast as I put it together. That's gonna be the first time. Next time we do this again, it'll be a snap because now I know how it goes together. So, let's take it apart. Now, I just wish though that they had something to hold all this together, because all these pieces are gonna fly around everywhere. I wish there was like a little case that I could put it in, or if they have a case, I will reach out to them, see if they have a case, because putting it like this and storing it this way is not gonna work. I think I just get like a strap or something, but it definitely needs a case. That is the Lifedoo car camping fire pit, and if you want one, you can check it out at lifedoo.com. Number 2 was sent to me courtesy of Treadless. Treadless is a camp outdoor adventure company. They are super cool guys. I've been in contact with them almost every other day about this item, and I'm hoping to work more with them in the future. They said they're gonna send me something, and they did. I already know what this is. Matter of fact, before they even offered to send me this is something that I've been wanting and me and my wife have been looking at, and that is the SoloStove, which comes with a wind deflector. If you know SoloStove, they make humongous fire pits. It looks like I'm getting a ton of fire pits on this review, but this one is their smaller camping version, which I wanted. I mean, look how compact and small this is. This time, we actually get instructions. Yay! So, instructions right here. Comes in a nice case also. There's a case for it. And a sticker. You know, stickers. Me and stickers. Look at that. Super small, super compact. Inside, you have a ring, and that is it. This is about as simple as it can possibly get. Everyone that I've seen do this review says this thing will produce massive heat. I mean, you're just throwing in little tiny twigs and stuff like that. So it's great for not only for overlanding, compact setup, but if you're backpacking, this is a great thing to have in your backpack. Take it out the bag, put your kindling and small twigs, light it up, put this on top, and you now have a burner. And along with this thing is the windscreen. This windscreen is a lot smaller than I thought it was gonna be, but I think that's a good thing because you can, again, bring this with you as well. You don't need anything crazy. Ooh, another sticker. You can configure this any way you want to protect wind from coming in, and the reason why there's these things is so that if you're on the ground, you can just stake them down. If you're on a table though, there's nothing for you to stake this down with. This will help if you're on the ground and you put it on the ground, you can just stake these down onto the ground and that'll help keep it in place. That is the SoloStove Titan sent to me by Treadless. So go check them out, treadless.com, for all your overlanding, camping, and survival needs. Now, real quick, I will not be making crazy meals on this challenge. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and try to bake a lasagna. That's just a lot of work, and honestly, I don't want to do that for two reasons. Number one, I'm not that good of a cook. Number two, I have never used any of these items before. I've tinkered with the Jetboil before, but with the SoloStove, I don't know how long the tinder and the twigs and the fuel that lights the fire would last. So I don't want to try to be cooking something complex and then before I know it, I'm out of heat and I never got to finish my meals. So we're gonna keep things real simple. We're talking burger patties, we're talking steaks, we're talking skewered vegetables, those kind of meals that we can make quickly, efficiently, and just get back to relaxing. So let's start with dinner. Alright, so we got some steaks and salmons cooking using the Lifedoo portable charcoal grill. As you can see, I love being able to cook with charcoal. It just tastes really, really good. This is an easy thing because it basically comes packaged, already seasoned. It's on a plank and you just throw it on top of the grill until it's cooked. And then with the steaks, I just coated them with salt, pepper, and some garlic powder. We got some shrimp skewers also, and maybe a couple of sides. Speaking of bringing too much gear with us, some or the other miscommunication happened and none of us brought plates. We have utensils, but none of us have plates. I'm just gonna chop them up and we're all gonna just eat everything off skewers. So there's the shrimp, vegetables, and the steak has been cut up because we have no kind of plates anywhere. So fine, we're eating it like canned foods. Alright, so dinner is done. It's actually really good, although we didn't have our normal stuff that we normally use. Too much in a rush, trying to bring everything and try to do these videos and then you forget things. But it's all good, worked out, had skewers available on hand. Sometimes it's better to have handheld foods like that. So I'm gonna clean up here. Tomorrow we're gonna try SoloStove. We're also gonna try the Jetboil to make our breakfast. So we'll see you tomorrow. Alright, so for breakfast we are using the SoloStove to make one of my favorite meals, which is spam and eggs. No plates, no problem. Spam and eggs between Hawaiian bread buns. Did you know they make buns? They absolutely make buns. Alright guys, that is breakfast using the SoloStove and the Jetboil. Worked really good. I'm super full. Just a piece of advice, normally when you're using the SoloStove you want it to be on a really flat surface, because as you can see my frying pan was kind of sliding off. But I needed to film it, so I needed to use the table to do it, and the table is sort of on an incline. Speaking of the SoloStove, I just wanted to give a big thank you to Treadless.com for sending that to me to review. Instead of just giving you their information, the reason why I started wanting to work with Treadless was because they had emailed me saying they liked the channel and wanted to know if I wanted to partner up doing some reviews for the products they carry. And talking to them, they have the same kind of philosophy that I do about getting out there and making your life worth it and living an adventure and taking advantage of every moment. They carry a ton of great gear. Not just SoloStove, they carry a ton of power banks. They carry knives and axes. They also carry first aid kits. And these are not just your run-of-the-mill cheap products. I mean, you're talking hardcore stuff like My Medic and SoloStove and Lion's Energy and EcoFlow. Tons of great products on that site. And they're also a distributor for Free Spirit Recreation, who makes my tent and my Ready Light. So go to treadless.com, go check them out, let them know that you heard about them through Asia or Baptism Overland. And yeah, thank you guys again for sending me gear. And with that, I'm gonna go ahead and finish packing up most of my gear except for the stuff I need for lunch, because as soon as we finish lunch, we're gonna pack up and head on out of here. So let's get this going. One more meal to go. All right guys, my family has come back. Last night it was so hot that we knew it was just gonna be horrendous in that tent with all of us together, and we didn't want to leave our dog inside the Forerunner by herself because we didn't know how she's going to respond to the heat and being out here, because it really was pretty terrible last night. So they went home and I stayed behind to finish my filming and kind of just have some alone time too. But this is it, our last meal of the day. I've already pretty much packed everything up except for our Lifedoo fire pit. That way I can just go ahead and grill up some burgers and then be done and get out of here. Cheeseburger for me, regular burger for my son because he's allergic to dairy, and a veggie burger for my wife. And that will basically conclude our camp cooking challenge, using only 3 items to make 3 different meals. Alright guys, that concludes our camp cooking challenge. As you can see, you can make pretty easy, quick meals using very minimal gear. Now, I'm going to go over each of these products because there are some pros and cons about each of them, and I want to make sure you guys are fully aware. First is the Lifedoo Grill. Lifedoo Grill worked awesome. I love the taste of charcoal, so sometimes I don't get to do that at camp unless they have a grill or we're just cooking it over the bonfire. But I sometimes want to just bring a small bag of charcoal and a grill with me and grill everything using charcoal. So I really love how it's set up and the way they disperse the ash, much better than my barbecue at home because it's slanted and the ash just kind of falls down and you can just dump it later on. The only thing that I do not like about this piece of gear is that it's a bit cumbersome to transport because there is no case. So I went to Lifedoo and went to go look if they had a case. They don't have a case for this particular model. And then they said they'll send me their newer version, I guess, that has an actual case with it. So I said, all right, if you want to send that to me, and I'll check that out. I hope that it kind of folds and gets put together a lot easier than this one. I mean, this was an easy setup. It's just a lot of pieces. It has a lot of pieces that, unless you put it all in a case, will kind of just flop around wherever you put it in your rig. So that is my only gripe about it. Alright, and the second thing is the Jetboil, which is probably my favorite out of all of them because it was super simple. I mean, it just comes in all these parts, screw some stuff together, turn it on, and you are good to go. And you're boiling water in less than 60 seconds, at least for me. And as far as brewing my coffee using the percolator, took maybe a minute and a half, when normally, even at home, on the stove, it takes about 2 minutes. So it's actually faster using the Jetboil stuff. So I love that you can use this not only as a burner, but to boil your water. And because we forgot a lot of our plates and bowls, I was glad that the Jetboil comes with its own cup, because I was able to put my oatmeal in there, eat it right out of that bowl, and I was good to go. The only thing I don't like about it is that there's just so many pieces. I mean, yeah, they give you a bag, but it just has all these little accessories, and I know a lot of companies like to provide little tiny accessories to make it feel like you're getting a lot of stuff. But what ends up happening is you end up losing stuff, you end up forgetting stuff. So when I'm actually using the Jetboil, I've had to put those smaller pieces aside somewhere, and thank God, like, it didn't get lost in the shuffle of all the stuff that I have. But I see why they're doing it the way they're doing it, and I do like that it all nests within each other. And then finally, the SoloStove. SoloStove was great. I mean, that thing heats up really well. I mean, you could see that there was a ton of fire coming out of that thing. So if you wanted to fry some rice using a wok, I'm sure you can probably do it. Kind of like what you see in some of those restaurants, street foods, where there's just a huge fire and you're just kind of moving the wok around. Like, yeah, I bet you I can bring a little small frying pan that has a bowl and make some fried rice using that SoloStove. It just took a little too much effort to get it set up. And what I mean by that is, yeah, you have the SoloStove, you just turn it over, it's done. However, I had to go around and gather twigs. I had to get some wood and chop it up into small pieces that I can drop in there so that it lasts longer. And on top of that, you have really no way of controlling the flame. Like, you can't, the flame is going to be what the flame is, and when it dies, and you got to just keep feeding it. And so halfway through my cooking, the flame started to die out, so I started throwing more stuff in there, then I had to wait for it to come back up again. And then after that, it started to die down while I was doing the eggs. So I don't ever know how long it would last unless I had a bunch of wood and twigs, which means the more wood and twigs I need, the more I need to gather. So I don't know if I would use this camping per se, when it's a lot faster to just bring a smaller burner and turn that on using propane. But for backpacking and you want to go real minimal, this will help. Also, what I will probably do with the SoloStove is keep it in my bug out bag, because it's a good survival piece of equipment where in a pinch, if you needed to cook something up, you can bring out the SoloStove, gather the firewood, and gather some twigs and get it going. I did have to use one of the fire starting cubes because, again, that makes it faster using a fire starting cube. Without that, then I would have to take out the ferro rod, start throwing in some tinder, and then now it's taking even longer to get the fire going when I could just take out a burner and turn it on. So I love the SoloStove. I love the concept of it. I will probably get their big one to put in my patio at home so we can have a fire pit. But for cooking wise, just a little too much setup and too much prep work just to get the fire going, and then you add that to the prep work of what you're cooking, then it just becomes a long drawn out thing. Alright guys, that is it. That is the camp cooking challenge completed. 3 meals, 3 very simple items. I had a whole lot of fun doing this, you guys, just because it taught me a lot about stuff that I can bring without having to bring the entire kitchen sink with me. Make sure you comment below. Let me know what you guys are doing to simplify your cooking as well. But until then, please make sure to subscribe to our channel, hit the like button on this video, and if you can, please support us on Patreon so that we can continue making more videos like this for you. And as always, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Baptism Overland. My name is Asia Sampson, and I will see you next time.